So in this video, I'll be reacting to Bleacher Report's new article stating the Knicks' top trade targets in the 2022 NBA offseason. And whether it's through a trade or free agency or even the draft, the Knicks will definitely need to make some moves this offseason. And I believe that they should trade Julius Randle as well. And that would mainly be to open up starting minutes for Obi Toppin. And another big reason to trade Randle this offseason would be because of his huge contract in a long-term deal. And removing that would definitely clear up some space for the 2023 offseason for New York. But now with that all out of the way, let's get into Bleacher Report's first trade target for the Knicks this offseason. So the first trade target for the Knicks this offseason per Bleacher Report would be Utah's Donovan Mitchell. So last season for the Jazz, Mitchell averaged about 26 points per game, 4 rebounds and 5 assists as well as 1.5 steals per game. And at 6'1" and 25 years old, Mitchell is not even in his prime yet. And as many people know, Mitchell was born in New York in Westchester, right next to the New York Knicks practice facility in Westchester. And he grew up as a Knicks fan, and Leon Rose, the Knicks president, was his agent before becoming New York's president. And he also grew up as a Knicks and Mets fan. So the ties are definitely strong between Donovan Mitchell and the Knicks, and he could request a trade this offseason because of the disappointing year the Jazz had in the playoffs. So I agree with Bleacher Report's first trade target in Donovan Mitchell, but as long as the price is not too high and we don't need to include RJ Barrett. But if it's to pair him up with Barrett and to trade players like Randle, Grimes, or maybe Emmanuel Quickley and some picks, I would definitely try to do that deal. So now with that all being said, let's get into trade target number 2 by Bleacher Report. So the second proposed trade target by Bleacher Report for the Knicks this offseason would be point guard Malcolm Brogdon of Indiana. So last season for the Pacers, Brogdon averaged about 19 points per game, 5 rebounds, 6 assists, and 1 steal. And at 6'5" and 29 years old, Brogdon is in his prime even though he's injury prone, but he could definitely help out the Knicks and their playoff hopes. And even more importantly, Brogdon would help out the Knicks' young guys like Emmanuel Quickley and Deuce McBride. And the trade could include players like Julius Randle and some expiring contracts like Alec Burks or Kemba Walker. And the Knicks could also try to get someone like Miles Turner or Buddy Hield in return. And I also agree with Bleacher Report's target number 2 because while Malcolm Brogdon would be injured in New York, the Knicks would actually have enough opportunities to give to players like Emmanuel Quickley and Miles McBride. And by trading Randle, the Knicks would also open up spots for Cam Reddish and Quentin Grimes off the bench. And this would also create space for someone that the Knicks would draft with the 11th pick in this year's draft by maybe selecting someone like Jeremy Sohan. And now with that said, let's get into trade target number 3 by Bleacher Report. So BR's trade target number 3 for the Knicks this offseason would be point guard Monte Morris out of Denver. So last season for the Nuggets, Morris averaged about 10 points, 2 rebounds, and 3 assists per game while shooting about 38% from three-point range, a very solid 48% from the field, and about 80% from the free throw line. But the Morris idea doesn't really make sense for me unless the Knicks trade some veteran players in return. And even though he's pretty young at 26 years old, Morris would not really make sense as a starting point guard of the team because that could disrupt the growth of Emmanuel Quickley because Morris is not really a true veteran yet and he's still trying to fight for his own contract, so he's going to want to play in the starting lineup and demand a ton of minutes. And he only averaged about 3 assists per game last season for Denver, so that's not great in terms of ball movement. So out of these 3 proposed trade targets by Bleacher Report, I would be more interested in targeting someone like Malcolm Brogdon or of course obviously Donovan Mitchell. So with all of that being said, let me know in the comment section down below what you guys think of these 3 trade targets by Bleacher Report. And if you did enjoy this video and want to see more Knicks content like this, make sure to smash that like button, subscribe if you're new, and it's been KNYT here and I'm out. Peace.